Hey guys, this is Rosa Kelly. Welcome back to the video class. So on this video we are going to be working on floating page number 2. So we're going to start with one piece that we are going to cut at 8 3/4 by 8 inches, and we are going to score along the 8 inches at 3/4 and at 1 1/4. Okay, and then we're going to fold and fold here. And for this book, you want your score lines to be on the right side for this page. Okay, so your score lines will be on the right side. Okay, so now we are going to cut one piece, and this one is going to be 8 3/4 by 7, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch along the 7 inches and fold along the score lines, and then we are going to glue this piece on the left side of the page. And let's go ahead and add the glue. Okay, so we're gonna add the glue here and line this up right here on the left side and press down. And there we go. So now let's put this to the side, and we are going to cut two pieces, and these are going to be one, let's see here, 1 by 5 1/4, and let's do the same one here, 1 by 5 1/4, and we're going to score along the 5 1/4 at 1/2 inch and at 4 3/4. Okay, so 1/2 inch and 4 3/4, and we're going to fold along the score lines. Okay, so we're creating two belt pieces, and then bring this back, open that up, and we are going to add these two pieces right over here. So I'm gonna fold this back so it's clear that to see, it's easy to see that edge here. So from this edge I'm going to go about 1.5 inches here. Is that 1.5 inches or yeah, that's about 1.5 inches. Let's see. Yeah, so about 1.5 inches we are going to put this piece here and the other one right next to it, like that. Okay, so you do want to leave a tiny space along the top, and then a tiny space between the two, and then a tiny space on the bottom here. So just gonna place these two on the center right there. So I'm going to just try not to move it and add the glue right there so I know where I want it. Okay, and then add the glue here, and we're gonna put that up there, and then we're going to add the glue right there, and we're gonna place this other one right in there. Okay, so now we are going to cut two pieces, and these are going to be 4, let's do here, 4 and by 9 inches. Okay, so something here, 4 by 9, and then we are going to score along the 9 inches. We're going to score at 1/2, 1 1.5, 2, and 2.5, and 3. Okay, and then we're gonna fold along the score lines. Okay, so just gonna fold and fold. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same for the other one. So we're going to score at half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and 3. And we're going to fold along the score lines here. Okay, so fold and fold. So then we're going to cut 12 pieces, and I'm gonna cut these two at the same time. So we're gonna cut 12 pieces, and these are going to be 4 by 3.25. So let's do 3.25. So that's 2, 3.25 here. Okay, so 4, and then 3.25. Okay, so 6, and then we're gonna do the same here. So 4 by 3.25. Okay, so those. Okay, so 4 and 3.25 here. Okay, so we have 12 pieces, and we are going to be adding these pieces on the score lines on this other piece. So we're gonna be adding one at a time. So I'm just gonna add glue and add this piece. Okay, so you want to make sure they're going center, and then we're gonna do the next one. Okay, and then add this piece. Okay, and then next piece here. Okay, so we're gonna add the next one. Oops. Okay, and then one more piece right here. Okay, so we're just gonna add all of those and then press down. Okay, and then we're gonna do the same on the other, see, the other piece here. So add the glue, and we're gonna start building this waterfall. So let's make sure it's going straight. Okay, so then add okay, and then we're gonna just continue here with the next one. Okay, now it's a little tedious, but it's gonna be worth it at the end. And then we're just gonna add the last one here, and there we go. So just line that up and press down. Okay, so we're gonna press down all these pieces, And then we're gonna go and open one by one. Okay, so I want to make sure they didn't get glued. And there you go. So that's gonna be one side, and then same thing for this one. Just open one by one here, and there we go. And then we're going to bring back our page, open that up, and we are going to add each one. So we're gonna place this on the back, and we're just gonna put that right here. Okay, and I'm gonna center it, and then you're gonna open this up and add the glue on the belt here. Okay, and now we're gonna close this and press down. Okay, and then we're just gonna do the same on this other one. Okay, so center it right there, and then open it up and add the glue. Okay, and now we're just gonna close this up, and just like that. Okay, so press, and there you go. So now when we open this page, on the inside we're gonna have our two rolling waterfalls pieces here. Oh, I think the last one is not, I think, yeah, I don't think I have enough room for the last one or something, but that's okay. There we go. Okay, so that's gonna be that. There you go. And then same thing for this one. I'm gonna go like that and like this. Yeah, I wonder why that last one is not opening anymore. I guess there's not enough room, but okay, that's fine. So we're just gonna roll with that. And now I'm going to add my paper. So I'm gonna use the 4x3 cards here, and I'm just gonna pick two of these. So I'm thinking this one with the kitty, maybe these two here, and these are going to be 3x3 3/4. So I do have to reduce a little bit along the top. Okay, and then same thing for this one. Okay, so 3 3/4 here, and then by 3. Okay, and I'm just gonna put the design on the first one, and then the other ones will be for pictures. Okay, so let's add these right here, and then add this one right here. Okay, so those are gonna go there. Look how cute, I love it. Now we don't want to put I want to make sure this rolls easily, and something here, and there we go. Okay, so then this is gonna close here on top, and then for this page I want to use this design here with the kitty. So previously I've used this side, I think, so now we're gonna go from the other side, and we're gonna cut these at 6 1/4. Okay, so 6 1/4 is right here, and then this is going to be by 8 1/2. So we're probably gonna take some from here, and then some from here, 8 1/2. Okay, so that way we have center the image, and I am gonna use my corner rounder here. Okay, And then this is just gonna go right there. Okay. Put that piece. Okay, so that's gonna go there, and then just press down. Okay, and then so when you open this up, I think here we can probably add another page. Like we can probably put this here. Would this be big enough or small enough? I don't want this to be on the way, so yeah, that'll probably be on the way a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, so we will have to make a smaller right now this is getting stuck because there's no paper behind this, so we'll need to add some paper to avoid that. But I think for now I'm gonna use these and maybe cut these at, let's do 8.5 because I don't want to get rid of the design, and let's do it by 5.25. Okay, and then I'm just trying to make sure it's clear of the waterfall because I want to add this as a flap. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, maybe a little bit smaller. Okay, so we're gonna cut this at 4 3/4. Okay, but let's go ahead and add another piece of another cardstock piece. So I'm gonna cut this piece at 5.5 by 8 3/4, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch along the 5.5. Okay, and then this is where we're gonna put this piece here. Okay, so this is 5.5 by 8 3/4. We score at 1/2 inch, and then this is going to be 4 3/4 by 8.5. And I'm going to just round the corners, and then we can put this piece on the left side here. Okay, so I'm going to glue this down first. Okay, so press down, and then we're going to add this page. There we go. Okay, so here we have these. Oh, how cute. I just love the paper. Oh my goodness. So then this is gonna open up like that, so you have more places here for pictures. And then when you do your rolling waterfall, this should be able to go just fine. Now I do want to add that paper here so it stops getting stuck. So I think for the background, I'm just gonna use some solids coordinating cardstock. So I'm gonna use this pink here, and let's see, I'm gonna cut these at 4. Okay, so let's move this here. So we're just gonna do this at 4 by 8.5, and I'm gonna put these back here, so mainly my rolling waterfall, it won't get stuck with this. There's a 1/2 inch hinge right there, so we're just gonna go ahead and glue this down on this side. Okay, so let's put this behind. All right there. Okay, put that behind. And I did it 4 because we have the belt pieces here, so they're kind of in the way, but then we can do another one for the other side. So now let's try this rolling waterfall. So now they should not get stuck. Look how fun. And then you can go slow so you can actually see your pictures once you place them here. And the last one is not opening here, which is a bummer, but that's okay. No, it's just there for support. Okay, and then same thing with this one. Go like that. If it's not opening flat, just go ahead and help that, and then it will get used to opening a little bit more flat here. And that is gonna be this side. And now let's work on the back. So I'm going to cut one piece at 9 3/4 by 5 1/2, and we're going to score along the 5 1/2 at 1/2 inch. Okay, and then along the 9 3/4 we're gonna do 1/2 and 9 1/4, and then we're going to cut the corners here for the pocket and fold along the score line. Okay, so we're just gonna fold and fold, and then we're going to add this pocket on the left side. So remember, we have the hinges here, so you're gonna go right next to those next to that score line, and then we're going to add the glue, and add the glue here, and add the glue right there, and then we're just going to line this up and press down. Okay, so press, and there you go. And then I'm going to use some of my leftover pieces. So I have this one that I think is gonna fit just right. So this is going to be 8 1/2 by 4 3/4. So it was a leftover piece and it fits perfect. So we're just gonna go ahead and glue this down. Okay, and that's gonna go here. Okay, and then I'm gonna use some more of my leftovers. So I think I have the same, so we can do the same, or we can do the print, this crochet thing. Let's see. Yeah, I think that looks fine. And then I also have this one, which is the same, but this one has the pink. Oh, I think I like the pink. Okay, so I'm gonna use this piece here, and I'm just gonna cut this at 8 1/2, right? But I want to get more of the pink, so I'm gonna cut it this way, 8 1/2. Okay, and then this can go right there in the pocket. Okay, so let's add the glue, and we're gonna place this on the inside. Okay, so just like that, and press down. Now over here I wanna start adding some of my where is this, where did I put my tray? Oh, here it is. I was hiding it over here. Okay, so I wanna use some of my little pieces here, like these little envelope things, and maybe I'll use the flower one. And so we're gonna score to fold this piece here. So this half on one of the sides a little line that shows you where to score, but I mean you can just score right there. Okay, so we're gonna score here, and then we're gonna fold, and then I'm just lining this up to the 6 so it's easy to see here. Okay, and then same thing on this side. So just score on the edges, right? And then here I have that score line right here. Oops. Okay. There we go. All right. So then we're gonna fold these little pockets or envelopes. Okay. And then we're just gonna fold it like that. And so I'm going to glue the sides here. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of glue on each side and close this. Press them down. And then this is going to be like the little closure for this little envelope. And I'm going to round this corner here if I can. Let's see. Okay, and then same thing on this one. See if I can. No, it's a little hard, but maybe I should have done that before gluing it, but there you go. Okay, so now it looks a little bit more finished with the rounded corner. Look how cute is this little envelope. Okay, and then I was thinking we can glue these envelopes here on top, so you have kind of like the pocket on the side, and then you also have this little pocket to put a little something in there. You can leave it blank for picture if you like, but I'm just gonna go ahead and glue these down. And I'm also gluing it as a U so we can use it as a double pocket here. Okay, and then I think the 4x3 cards will fit in there, so let's try one of these. Okay, so let me cut these pieces. Okay, so I'm gonna use one of these. Just gonna, let's see if it fits or if we need to trim it. I mean, oh yeah, it looks like we need to make it just a little bit smaller on the sides. Okay, and then that should fit right here. Look how cute. So we have this little, either little picture area, or you can use it as a little journaling card if you put some white paper on the back. Okay, I'm gonna round the corner so it looks nice, and then that can go right here, and then I can use another one, and then we can put this one on the back pocket. Okay, so we can close that. I wonder how we can close this and keep it closed. Maybe not Velcro, but maybe we can punch out a little circle. So let's do that. So I have a little circle cutter, and then we can use some of our scrap pieces. Let's see, maybe these look something little. Ooh, maybe this here. This should be good. So we can use our circle cutter, or maybe I can cut this rose here. Oh yeah, look at that. So maybe that. Okay, so we're gonna punch that, And then we can put this as a little closure here. So I'm just gonna glue half of that and put it right there. I love that you can't even see it because it kind of blends with the flowers, but it's here. Okay, so I'm just gonna let it dry. And then here you can open that up and take this out. And then you can just stack this on there. Maybe this needs to go a little lower. Oops. Okay. Let's make it a little lower. There you go. Okay, give you a close up. So just a little bit is just enough to overlap, and then you can just tuck that back in, and there you go. I do have to let my glue dry. And then back here we have this other little card. Okay, and I think I want to do another one, so we can put another one here, or we can just leave the one little envelope. But that's a cute idea to add throughout the pages as well. And then over here you can put a picture, and then you can add another little journaling card in there. I need to glue this a little more, and there we go. And okay, so that is gonna be this page. I'll definitely be making more of these little envelopes to add throughout, but I think that looks super cute. And then you can also do another one if you want, like to put 2 envelopes here, but I'm actually gonna leave that blank for a picture. Okay, so now let's bring back our book, and we are going to be, let's open this up and open, and we're gonna be adding these here. Look how cute, just love it. Okay, so we're gonna place this one, I think we're gonna do about, let's see, maybe 3/4 inches from this side. I want to make sure this doesn't get stuck. Okay, so I'm gonna place it more like right at the center of the spine here. Okay, so we're gonna add the glue. Okay, and then this is gonna go right at the center. Okay, so I'm gonna put it right there. So there's probably an inch here from that score line or the bending line. Okay, and then we're just gonna make sure it's going straight, and then we're gonna hold it here on the back. Okay, and then just press down. Okay, so on this side it's about 1/2 inch away from this score line, and on the back it's 1 inch away from that back score line here. Okay, so that way this hinge, it's right in the middle of the spine, right there. Okay, so I'm just gonna press down, press, there you go, and that's gonna close up like that. It's so cute, I love it. I still need to add the paper here, but then we're gonna close this page. I think this one should go on top of that, like that. Okay, and then we're just gonna close these and close these. And let me check if I have a page that I want to use for that. Let's see. Okay, so I don't know which one of these options I'm going to be using for the cover yet. so I'm saving both. So whichever I don't use for the cover, I'm gonna be adding here and here. Okay, so we are going to continue and decorate the cover.